Okay, we are moving on to new business. We are going to start with the international economic development recruitment from the mayor. There are rules to this. This is only a 10-minute presentation. There's a 5-minute Q&A. James is going to be keeping time. Please stick to the subject. Don't veer off the subject of the international economic development recruitment. Mayor, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. You all are pulling the slide presentation up. So I have been traveling a lot internationally, and people have been asking about my vision for international economic development. And we are going to just wait till we get. Don't count this against my time. Presentation, man. No, I wish I could take credit. Well, while that's coming up, so I know we're on a live Zoom. My name is Kobi. I am the mayor. I am born and raised here in the city of South Fulton, and I grew up right along Old National right here. So I've been traveling the world selling South Fulton as a place to do business for the diaspora, and I have some observations that I want to share with you all as soon as we get this PowerPoint together.
Is going to IT.
I mean, I thought it was playing earlier.
It was, yeah. We're not counting your time. Yeah. We wouldn't do you like that.
We're just working on bringing the PowerPoint up so the people that are joining online can see what you all are seeing.
Technology, right?
Remember back in the day, I'm gonna tell them my age now. You remember the Ditto machines? They had the first PowerPoints, they had the little clear thing you put on the projector.
Yes. What were they already? You remember they were clear.
Are we still live?
The trend.
Oh.
Yeah, put them in reverse. Yes, and then the light and then it will project on the wall.
I think I'll.
Y'all kind of ancient.
For copies, we would hand out Ditto paper. You remember the blue?
Yeah,
It was wet.
it was a carbon.
Yeah.
Not the carbon paper.
The
There was one that you
mimeograph.
could roll on a
The
press and
mimeograph
it always
was
came out blue.
We always
That was the
smell.
only color.
Oh, y'all real,
I don't.
Wait, hold on, no,
That was before your time. That was before your time.
I got one
Somewhere at
better.
home, I got a piece of
Remember,
paper that's new.
research, microfiche.
yeah.
Micro-
Yes,
And the Dewey Decimal System. I remember we had to learn that
remember that?
at Love Tino in elementary. Here we
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Nowadays.
Are we ready?
To hit a. Those days.
It was on point.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Library.
are we ready? Oh,
You start.
yes, no, yes. Okay,
All right, I think we're ready. I got more slides and time. Go ahead and hit next. So right now, we'll start right here. Go back one. Right now, we are in our comprehensive plan update. This is really critical to our economic development. Go to the next slide. As you, all of you are familiar, maybe some of you watching online are not. Our city is kind of a crazy hodgepodge of districts. And one of the things that we need to decide is our comprehensive land use. That leads right into what we're talking about. I next am famous for noting that the city of South Fulton with a 93% what I call American African population is the blackest city in the United States. I believe that that is not just a matter of cultural pride and a way that we can instill pride in terms of cleaning up our streets and things like that, but it is also a method of economic development. Go to the next, hit next again. And so what I want to talk about are the land use plans that I see us having, and it's really leaning into what we are doing already in the city. We have an industrial section. You all may not know, next slide, but a lot of the industrial is actually light industrial. Oh, our slides look different. Okay, yes. A lot of our slides, a lot of our industrial is actually light industrial and film industry in the film industry. When you go, if you go back one slide, I'll tell you when to go next. Just hold right there. On Fulton Industrial Boulevard, we have 8 production studios, 2 prop houses, 2 sound stages, and a rigging company. And so the direction that I feel that we should be heading along Fulton Industrial is light industrial manufacturing and the film industry. That will take a lot of the trucks off of our streets. A lot of our industrial areas are usually like heavy industrial. They're for like warehouses, data centers. But these are things that are happening already that we can build upon. Somehow these slides got out of order. It's okay. Next. So this is part of the presentation that I made in Ghana and I've been making around the world, right? This is, you all may be familiar with this. This is the triangle slave trade. This is where imperial powers in the early 19th century, 18th centuries were taking Africa's most valuable natural resources, the people, to the Americas, and bringing capital into Africa to take the people and our resources out. If you just hit next, you don't have to hit. There's a bunch of animations. 60% of the world's resources are still in Africa. And so go ahead and hit next. What we are talking about doing is yes. What we're talking about doing is reversing this triangle slave trade. How many of you all know that African Americans have $1.6 trillion in spending power? That's actually a 2022 number. And so what I've been saying to folks throughout the diaspora is that if you want to access this market, this $1.6 trillion in African American spending, the place to start is in the blackest city in America. We are right next. You can go ahead and hit the next slide. I talk about us being, you're gonna just hit next a couple times, like 1, 2, 3. I usually control these myself. These are, and these presentations, they are purposely in metric measurements because that is how most of the rest of the world uses measures things. So we're 250 square kilometers. We have the most available land and the most affordable land in the metro area. We're next to the world's busiest airport. So if you're looking to produce, test, market, and then send your products across United States to really access this $1.6 trillion of African American capital, South Fulton is the place to start. What the continent has, and South America, what the continent has is resources. So I met a brother, this is a anecdote. I met a brother who's about 33 in Ghana. He owns a gold mine. I got to, see pictures of his mine, hold some of the gold, but he doesn't have the capital that we have. So they have the resources, we have the capital. And it's about reverse engineering that triangle slave trade to produce wealth both on the continent and here for us. If you go ahead and hit the next slide. This is one of the, and then you can hit next. Again, this is one of the things that people are most excited about when I travel is I talk about us having the largest industrial corridor on the East Coast, over 5 million square meters of space. We're on the rail lines with the Port of Savannah, which is the largest on the East Coast. And then go ahead and hit the next slide. Just hit next. We have carriers like UPS and various other, you can hit next again, hit next again. And we have this Freeport tax exemption program. So this is what producers in South America and in Africa are most excited about is bringing their goods to South Fulton and being able to store them tax-free in our millions of square feet on Fulton Industrial Boulevard. You can hit the next slide. So I've created these sheets. You can hit next 2 times. It's easier when I have this little clicker. We translated the sheets into French and Spanish. About half of Africa speaks French. Obviously, maybe you all don't know, but the largest population of Africans outside of Africa is actually in Brazil, in Salvador Bahia. And there's a significant population in the Americas and places like Colombia. So we translated this. It basically talks about all the things that I'm running through now. Go ahead and hit the next slide. We also created this website. You all can visit it at southfulton.us. So all the information that is on these pages that we've been marketing are on this website. Hit next. All right, you can play this video. So one of the people that we've been working with is a company called Afrovana. They are on Fulton Industrial Boulevard already. They have cold storage. They import high quality products from Africa, from the continent, to make beauty and health and agricultural products. They already have a cold storage facility on Fulton Industrial Boulevard. They also have one at the farmers market down in Clayton County. If you'll hit next, we're going to play a video, and this is a testimonial from from the owner of Afrovana about some of the work that we've been doing. This has sound. All right, so I'll just narrate the sound because we don't hear it. But what we did is we took him down to the Port of Savannah. He was having trouble getting his products out of the Port of Savannah. A lot of things that come from Senegal, Nigeria, West Africa get flagged by customs for being mysterious packages or whatever. So we went and we spoke with the Port of Savannah. We got some of his things out of the port faster. He also had a program with the governor, and you can see all of this on my YouTube page. You can actually hear the testimonial. But the governor helped him get a partnership with Colombia. So he now has a packing house in Colombia. So we're actually helping this international business grow larger just by the travel and the work that we have done. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. We can go on to the next item.
1 minute.
And so I'm going to stop here because I don't have time to go through this entire presentation. I'm just going to take your questions and we'll maybe go through some slides as I answer.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Are there any questions from the board? Board Member Dana?
Thank you, Mayor. So I watched the presentation and I know you had to skip through it, but what I repeatedly heard you say was I have a plan, I have a goal, I'm doing this, I want to bring this here. However, we are a board and I don't recall you being on any of the bus trips that we've taken around the city to figure out what our economic development plans are or should be, or what the needs for economic development are or should be for the city of South Fulton. So I'm trying to understand why you're here after you have already engaged travels and sought international partners or markets without coming to us first to see whether or not that is a part of the plan for the city of South Fulton for us to have any type of international market and international partnerships when there are so many other needs that this board is in the process of determining are important. So I'm trying to figure out what is the goal? Because earlier you introduced yourself not as the mayor, but you introduced yourself as a concerned citizen. So I'm not sure if this is a presentation as a concerned citizen or if it's a presentation as the mayor. And if it's as the mayor, when you say we and I, are you talking about the council or you individually? So that's my main question. I'm just trying to figure out. And I feel like this is an effort to legitimize something after the fact. And because we haven't moved. We've been here since I've been on the board almost 2 years. So we have been available. Our meetings are published. And so you could come to us and find out what our plans are. But it sounds like you've already traveled and you've already done some things which you put on your slides and coming to us after the fact. So I'm just trying to figure out why now? Why are you coming to us now?
Well, it's actually the same reason that I took these trips. It's because I was invited. I was invited by Miss Williams and I'm sorry, Mr. Delay, your board members. They've heard me speaking and they invited me here. I have been to the launch of several of the bus trips. I have been to a couple of meetings. I try to stay away from the meetings as much as possible. I think that sometimes the presence of elected officials, we have been told, can be intimidating. So, you know, we watch online, we read the reports. But when I started talking about us being the blackest city in America, I started to receive invitations from people around the world. So everywhere that I have been, Ghana, Paris, Colombia, all of them have been at the invitation of business leaders and entrepreneurs in those countries who are interested in accessing our markets. So I go where I'm invited and I talk about South Fulton, and then people are interested in doing business with our city. We're working on a deal with the courier who already has operations at Hartsfield Airport. After meeting with them in Ghana, it turns out that they're Ghana-based. They want to open up a second operation center on Fulton Industrial Boulevard. So I basically just, wherever I go, I cheerlead the city. People invite me to speak as they invited me to speak here. And then I just, you know, let people know these are the things this is what the market is interested in doing in South Fulton. So as a council member, when I am sitting in planning and zoning meetings, we get data centers, warehouses, restaurants, nail salons, right? But as I began to talk about this message, there were people who were interested in doing manufacturing, agribusiness, production. They were interested in doing those things, and they sought me out. So that's how I went there, and that's why I'm here.
Thank you for that response, but I don't think it answered my question. So what and I appreciate you saying that you go where you're invited and you're invited to these places you go. That's great. But what I'm trying to figure out is once you receive the invitation and then you know that you're going to explore whatever opportunities they are presenting, there hasn't been a interchange of ideas and communication with us. And if you think that we are intimidated by elected officials, I can tell you we're working with this board, we're not. I mean, you've come to one meeting that we've had and you said you were on the bus tour. I don't remember you being on either one of those bus tours that we've taken to figure out what is needed and where the gaps are. And we have our meetings and we publish our minutes. And so we talk about the things that we need and the leakage studies and all those kind of things. And I don't see that we've had any communications. I have my own law firm, so I don't work for the city. So I don't know if there has been an outreach or request for communication with us, but I do know that you haven't come here. And so I would think that before you go to other countries and work on partnerships and see what they want from us, you know, from us, what we're looking at and what we have polled and the data that we have that the citizens and the businesses want us to develop here before we go there. And I'm not saying that there is no interest in these type of things. My father owns a hair care product company or whatever. And so I understand what those needs are. So I'm not denying that. I'm just trying to understand. It looks like we're pedaling back, and I'm just trying to figure out why we didn't have this conversation before, once you got invited.
Well,
Okay,
I'm
once
here-
he, excuse me, but
Yes.
once he answers, we're gonna go to the
Yes.
next question.
yes, I'm here now. More invitations are coming, and I would love to, on the next set of trade missions and Codels, invite people, as many people as are interested. We do not have an international travel office. We do not have a film office. We are 8 years old as a city. We are building as we climb, and so I'm here to build with those of you all.
Board Member Hill.
Okay, I think I have a couple of questions. The first, I took a look at the comprehensive plan from 2020, just kind of skimming through, not necessarily for this, but also in order for us to align ourselves with what the city has said that they would like to accomplish, economic. And I did not see in that plan anywhere international trade, international economy. And I knew that you were actually on the council as a council person at the time when the comprehensive plan was done. So I'm curious as to how these trips fit underneath the comprehensive plan that you all participated in and developed.
So I believe that insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. We adopted a comprehensive plan that wasn't really original. It was, we cut and pasted around the edges of a comprehensive plan that we had before. And for years, we have been trying to attract American companies to the city of South Fulton with the result of data centers, warehouses, fast food places, and gas stations. And so for me, as we are redoing our comprehensive plan now, actually, as mayor, one of the things that I've made sure is that we've started early. Our comprehensive plan isn't due until 2026. We're starting in 2025. We are also in that comprehensive plan re-examining our land use. And so really the point of this presentation is to say, where is the city of South Fulton already succeeding? Where are we seeing demand that matches what we have available in our city? We have land, we have agricultural capacity, and we have this industrial boulevard that people are interested in storing their products in. And so as we redo our comprehensive and our land use plan now, I am calling us to look at doing things differently than we have in the past because it has not produced results.
Okay, we have run out. We are running overtime, so we're gonna take one more question from you, and we're gonna take a question from Board Member John, and then we're gonna close this down.
Okay, so the next question is, since your travels, have you actually identified any firm, new businesses, developers that have actually invested in funds in the city of South Fulton?
Yes, so the expansion of Afrovana is one.
But, okay, but that's not new.
They're,
So, I
they're,
mean,
they're,
new-
well, it's an expansion of their current business and the courier business that is coming to Fulton Industrial Boulevard is the second.
What's the name of the current business?
I don't want to say the name now. They're not, it's a business deal. We don't want to announce anything before they had purchased their land and made their expansion.
What companies have you engaged that are giving letters of interest to the city?
Yes, we are engaging companies. They are interested. Unfortunately, it's an election year. Things are very political right now. So what is already a dicey thing to do, revealing companies that are interested in expanding into your city, is particularly challenging. But they are coming, and you'll be hearing about them in the future. This was a much longer presentation that really talked about a land use plan for our city. So I will find a forum where I'll have more time for questions and answers, and hopefully you all can see the entire presentation and the vision that I have for our city.
Now, you said that is on YouTube though, right?
I'm sorry.
You said your presentation's on YouTube, right?
No, there is a presentation that I made in Ghana that will be on YouTube.
Oh,
The
gotcha.
the videos, the testimonial from Afrobana is available now on YouTube. More videos will be coming. We're dropping new videos every week. Because I've been traveling for some time, we have hundreds of hours of video that my media manager and I are processing right now. So you go to the YouTube channel, you'll see new videos every week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is it possible for you to provide the links to the board so that they can go and take a look at your presentation that you were doing?
Yes, all of I'm everywhere. It's consistent. It's Kobi Cares, Kobi Cares, CARES. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, youtube.com/Kobi Cares is probably the best. And it's youtube.com/ the @ Kobi Cares. They just added the @. There is a travel channel, so a lot of the videos about the travel and the business that is coming out of the travel, you'll find it.
Okay, thank you very
All
much.
right, thank you. South Fulton forever.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the new Grady ER for South Fulton.